Hi guys, welcome again. I'm back. Stop smoking, stop drinking. I just showed you the office that I'm in. Last time I made a video, I was in another office that they closed down, and now I'm in a new one, which the price is the same. It's about $300 a month. I told you I got 2 desks, so that's $600 a month. But I'm trying to take another route here than what many other YouTubers are taking who talk about Umar Johnson. And I'm trying to show you logic. Okay, you can see things logically why this thing is wrong. Why what he's doing is wrong. Okay? Maybe you cannot prove that he is a fraud. There could be things where you cannot prove it, where it's just it kind of can be hearsay. And what I'm going to do in this series is show you logically how it's wrong. I'm not going to say, I said fraud before, but technically we cannot prove it. Technically, we cannot prove that he's a fraud, right? We can only speculate. But what I'm going to prove to you in this series is that what he's doing is all wrong. And if what you're doing is all wrong and you keep on asking for money and you keep on getting it and things are not moving forward, then you might as well call it a fraud. It might as well be a fraud because you're doing it wrong. And you know you're doing it wrong and you know you're incapable of doing this, but you keep on doing it. And basically that's just defrauding the people, right? But let's not technically call it a fraud. So right now I'm talking to you on an ATR 2100, which is from Audio-Technica. This mic is, I'm going to say, an R&B, in Chinese R&B. It's about 300 renminbi, which is about $50. Okay. So every time I tell you a price, I'm converting it into a U.S. currency. Okay. Because I've been trained, I've been here for so long, I see everything in like RMB, which is the Chinese renminbi. Okay, so this mic is $50. That's Bronx donation for 1 month that he wants, right? $50. The computer that I'm using, you don't even have to use this type of computer, but this was the cheapest one that I will get. I won't get anything cheaper than that. This is a MacBook Air, and this MacBook Air is like a i5, very low kind of quality and standards, but it's light. And this thing cost me about in China it's higher than America. So, but here in China, this will cost me $1,000. It cost me 6,000 RMB, which is close to $1,000. In America, an iPad Air will cost you about $800, $699, something like this. It doesn't have any bells and whistles. 8 megabytes of RAM. Okay, 128 basically gigabytes. Let's see. So you can see I'm not lying to you. Okay, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Storage is what? Storage is a 121 gigabytes. So this is the lowest you can get. Is basically is i5. Okay, so it's i5. It's not the best. It's 2017. Okay, look up the price for that. You're going to find that it's under 1,000. I bought it a year ago. With this and this, okay, this $50 mic, and you can get if you don't like MacBook Air, you can get a cheaper one for $500. You can get a $400 computer, do the same thing. Okay, a $400 computer and a $50 mic will be better than an iPhone 8. Or even an iPhone 10. Okay, if you're planning to do live streams, you don't do it through your phone. It's just ridiculous because we're talking about, we want crisp voice. You're trying to sell a product, right? And so me not getting any donations, and you know why I can afford these things, is because I went out and got a job. And this is the problem that Umar has. He doesn't work. He doesn't want to work. He thinks work is beneath him. So when you think work is beneath you, what are you going to do? You're going to beg. You're out on the street begging. You're begging, constantly begging. And this is what he does. Does he have a 9-to-5 job? Anybody who wants to start a business, a school is a business. Okay, even though they call it a non-profit organization, a school is a business because it has all the business elements. It's even more complex than a business for profit. Look, listen, when they say that schools are non-profit, this is baloney. This is baloney. Why does Bill Gates give half of his fortune? Because there's accolades with that. There's tax deductions from that. There's so many things that comes with donating your money. Most people in the world, they are selfish. They do things out of the selfishness, out of narcissism, they want recognition. Even me, okay? Everybody does this. So when you have people saying, I'm doing it for the kindness of my heart, I'm doing it for black children. They might be doing it for black children. There might be a part of them that is doing it for black children. But most of it, they're doing it because of narcissistic tendencies, because of things that they want to achieve. Things that they want to do. Okay? Umar Johnson is a narcissist. The thing that he wants most is recognition. Okay? He needs to be recognized. He wants to be recognized. He wants a plaque up there with Garvey. More than money, okay? Money is the second, very, very, very close second. But the first thing he wants is recognition. This is the reason why he keeps saying, oh, I'm the number one. I'm the number one requested whatever, right? But when you see him, you're like, what? He can't be the number one requested something, because the number one requested scholar would have an office. They will have a board of directors. They will have a bunch of people following them everywhere, saying, okay, Umar, what do you need done, Umar? Okay, yes, Umar, we will do this, Umar. You don't have people. You have people. You had people like Tacky Tiffany. I'm talking about people in business suits. What do you need? Think of this is a good analogy. Think of Greenleaf. So if you ever seen Greenleaf, where you see it's a non-profit organization, right? Greenleaf says it's a non-profit organization. It's a religious television show on Netflix, right? Keith David is the star. Okay, so you have a non-profit organization, and Keith David is kind of at the top, and then his daughters are at kind of like the vice president. He's a president, and then his daughter and wives are kind of like the vice president. It's run exactly like an organization. You have people in ties. When they need donors, they will do the proverbial hyena yelps when they need donors, but they will have meetings. They have a board of directors on what to do in the next week and these things. It's very organized, okay? And churches are run a lot like schools. Okay, churches are run a lot like schools, and schools are run a lot like businesses. Even when they're just starting to get their money, there's ways that you do this. Okay? And right now I'm about to show you a way that you don't do it. And this will accentuate my point very clearly. Okay? So here we have, this is the last video that Umar Johnson did. Exhibit A. So here you have Exhibit A. You have something in the back that says King Kong Consciousness. I don't know if that's a watermark or something. It may be a watermark. So he had enough sense to get a watermark, whether it be physical or digital. But he doesn't have enough sense to put it in vertical. Okay, so what he does, he's just putting the phone right in the middle, and then he's having this thing like this. Okay, what you can do is you have your phone and you have a computer at the same time, because I know a lot of people that do Instagram, they do it on their phones. Okay, Instagram, I think you can only pretty much you can only do it on your phone. So you got Instagram followers, so he can say the excuse is, I'm doing it on my phone. But the thing is, because he does so much gaffes, right? He's second only to Biden, okay? But because he does so many gaffes, he should be able to pre-record his stuff and then put it on Instagram, because I also have an Instagram account, and I know you can make mistakes when you're trying to present yourself. So you make something, a recording, you edit it, then put it on Instagram. You just don't go live on Instagram. That's some Negro shit. Okay, people who just go live on Instagram, they don't think about their brand. They don't think about, especially when you want to raise money for a professional organization, you do not do things live. You have to do it, unless you're just answering questions kind of for like 30 minutes. And that's when you're already kind of established as a company or organization. Okay, but if you want to present yourself in a certain manner, and you don't want any gaffes, and you don't want people like looking at you and seeing, oh, he done something wrong, I'm kind of thinking suspect about him, you record first, then you upload. You record, edit, and then upload. And then you put the shit in in Instagram, I guess you can only do it in perpendicular, right? So this is Umar Johnson, and this is him unhinged. This is him unedited. Let's watch Umar Johnson in the first 30 seconds. Unedited, okay, Umar Johnson. Okay, so in the first 10 seconds, there's a gaffe. And when you have these gaffes, people will take that gaffe and they will capitalize on it. And like, this dude is his nose. He got nose problems. He must be doing the nose candy. He must be smoking crack. Or, well, he can't be smoking crack because he's so fat. But he's doing cocaine. He must be doing something. He's spending that money on cocaine. He got an addiction. So now you gave Leonard Honor a mode or a way of attack, because you didn't edit. You didn't do your due diligence, your due homework. The reason why Leonard Honor could go live like for 2 hours and people are not criticizing him so much is because, first, he's very humble. He's not narcissistic. He's not saying I'm the number one of whatever, right? He's very humble and self-defacing, which means like he sees his own flaws and says, look, this is my flaw. This is who I am, right? Umar is the opposite. He's very narcissistic. He's like, I'm the number one. I'm the this. I'm the that. And then when you actually see him, he's not these things that he claims he is. He's not these things that he claims he is. He's actually just the opposite. So within the first 10 seconds, we have a gaffe. And even if you're not thinking he's a drug dealer or drug taker, it's disgusting behavior. He's like sniffing horrible fingernail etiquette. One time you heard him piss in the bathroom, and he didn't wash his hands. You didn't hear the water run. I don't even think he flushed the toilet. He just took a piss, so he's touching his penis, peeing in the toilet bowl, doesn't wash his hands, comes back and start talking to you about donate. And you're like, is this a guy that is going to run a school? Is this a principal that's going to run a school? You see, this is why, like, I know I can never be like a really good teacher or authority figure because I don't have patience. I get angry real quick. I'm too quick to anger. I get too emotional. Okay, for a person like him, he's very narcissistic. When you attack that narcissism, when you attack that ego, this is how you bring down Umar Johnson. Just attack his ego. On live stream, because he likes doing live stream, because he thought that he could get on Lord Jamal and just start speaking around people because the Breakfast Clubs let him go. They was asking him real simple questions. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what's going on in the media anyway today, where you have, like yesterday, whether you like Trump or not, okay, whether you like Donald Trump or not, NBC grilled him like crazy. They just kept grilling him, and it was really not fair, okay, the way that they were going in on him. And it was stuff like Twitter, stupid things on Twitter that he says. That's Trump. He says stupid things on Twitter. It was not about real things that we need to address in the country, like healthcare, things like that, his policies. It was just about his personality. I don't want to hear about Trump's personality. I want to hear about the policies. Attack his policies. Don't attack. I don't care about his well, you know, I don't want to hear about his personality. I want to hear about his policies, right? And then on the other hand, you have somebody like Joe Biden, who, George Stephanopoulos, who's like a straight up Democrat. And they talking about this is a moderation. This is a bipartisan, basically, town hall. He was hired by Clinton administration. We know that he's straight up Democrat, and he's handling Joe Biden with kid gloves, and they're on at the same time. And you can clearly see, you know. So this is the same thing, like with Umar Johnson. Okay, because they're handling him. He's like the Joe Biden. They're handling him with kid gloves. So he go to the Breakfast Club. They ask him dumb questions, stupid questions. They don't challenge him. Every interview he goes to, they don't challenge him. They don't give him the hard questions. And so he thinks he can coast along, right? Because of his ego. And then when somebody starts giving him the hard questions, like, when you going to open it? You just said you was going to open it. He gets pissed off. This is the second time. Remember, he did it with the Christian organization, the Christian radio show. I mean, they opened up a new a-hole for him. They just opened up he got so pissed off. But this one with Lord Jamal, he just got crazy. Right? Because you're challenging him, you're giving him the hard questions. And he's never been faced with hard questions. And so he feels like, I don't need to answer these questions. I don't need to answer them. Why? I don't care about people. All I care about is donations, is my donations. And there you got it. You got it out of him. Right? Let's check more what he says. I didn't even hear the whole thing. Just the first 10 seconds, I'm like, this dude is a clown. He's sniffing on live. Whenever you do something live, like...
Peace and Black Power, family. Peace and Black Power. This is the prince.
Let me do... I gotta do my ear. Okay. There we go.
Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson. I just got off my Fox Soul interview. We were talking about the images of black women and the oppression and exploitation that black women face. That's why I'm still up at 1 in the morning. But what I want to do right now, I'm only going to be on here.
So he's always at a different place. Where's the place that you were with Lord Jamal? Why are you in this kind of place? What happened to the place with Lord Jamal? So when you have like donors and you want donors, you want money, you need to be consistent, right? Your audio need to always be good. Your video need to always be good. If you can't give good video, then don't show your face. If you can't give pristine audio, then don't do this kind of work until you get it, until you get the place. So where is this place where he had the red, black, and green stuff in the back? Why is he in some other place now? What is this place? Okay, where is your office? That's what I would like to know. Where are you? Why are you always somewhere different? Why don't you have a place, a mailing address, or a place where if I wanted to donate for 2 years, Umar Johnson, I want to donate to you for 2 years, $1,000 a month. That's $24,000 for 2 years, $24,000. Is there a conference room where you can get us all together and you can outline your plan? Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. And then you have these, like, I don't know, what you call it, a dossier or some kind of thing where you got all the information on there, a brochure or something like this, something professional, right? And you give everyone there, and then you have a seminar for like 5 hours or maybe 3 hours. It's like what they do with time sharing, right? They give you a free a place. You can stay at this very beautiful place, and then they spend the weekend trying to convince you to timeshare that place. He doesn't have these ideas. I'm not a freaking business person. I just know common sense. This is what you're supposed to do, right? You're sitting here saying diamond program, whatever program, this program. But where is it in documentation? Do you have documentation that says this? Is there a consistent place to put, when I want to give you money, I'll just keep giving you money. I'm not just going to give you my credit card for you to take any time, my credit card information for you to take any time, and you willy-nilly just getting money from me every month, and you don't got a place to even stay. I'm not giving you money in this circumstances. I want to see documentation of what you're doing. We haven't seen the inside of the school in so long. And what? What are the name of the companies that are working on this project? The HVAC cost, he says it's going to cost $300,000. The name of the HVAC company that gave you the quotes. You claimed that you got electricians and stuff in there working on. The name of the company that's doing the electrician with the invoice of how much it would cost or how much you paid, because you said you paid something for electricians. I want to see the invoice. Where's the invoice? Why aren't you showing the invoice? Some place where everything that you're doing is documented, because I know that if you start in a business like this, somewhere in the county records, you could check in the county records where it'll have all this information documented, right? So where is that? You cannot tell me that you are going to run a 4-building school by yourself, because essentially this is what it is. It's a 4-building school that he's running by himself. And why do I say that? Because we have never seen anyone else besides Umar Johnson and Tacky Tiffany. We have never seen anybody else but Tacky Tiffany. Right? Right? And Tacky Tiffany is gone. So who are the people that you're working with? Who's your second in command? Who's the second in command? Even fraudsters have offices. Even a person who frauds you, he has an office too. At least temporarily. Like, where's your office? Where's your secretary? You need a secretary. Where is she? You can get part-time secretaries. In terms of technology, where are your computers? Where of all these things? Okay? You can get a professional video done. All you got to do is go to Fiverr. Why don't I see you on, you know what I mean? You can get all these kind of services for very cheap on Fiverr. Fiverr.com. Go there. Fiverr, I do believe. You can get all kind of like professional services. You can have virtual offices. You can do all this kind of stuff. Why don't you know about any of this? These are logical questions that need logical answers. I'm not calling you a fraud, but I have questions that you have yet to answer, and it's already been 4 years. Because I remember when the Negro came to Shanghai, asking 500 yuan for each ticket. You understand? 500, that's $80 ticket. And I'm just going to tell you the truth, like what I believe. I think back in the days, like maybe like 15 years ago, because I think that's when he started doing this kind of thing. Umar was a very good looking man, I think. Not like this, okay? Now he looked like Fat Albert. But, hey. But back in the days, Umar was a very polarizing figure. Like, maybe that's not the right word I'm using, but he was a towering figure. He's 6'4". He's like 6'4". Okay, 6'3", 6'4". He was thinner back then. If you look at him like during the Tariq Nasheed days, he was a very handsome man. And I think that got him to a lot of places, especially with black women, right? So we know that the black community basically I think it's more of a matriarchal society than a patriarchal society, meaning that it's more of a women run the black community more than men. Okay? Because a lot of times they might make more sacrifices when the children are left with one parent household. It's usually the women that's taking the kid, not the father. Okay, sorry guys, that's just what it is. Look at the facts. Okay, 72%. Just look at the facts. They are usually left with the women. Who knows the reason why? We're not gonna get into that. But the black community is usually it's a matriarchal society, and so you see a lot of black women that are single with children, and they see a man that they think that they can get with because he's single. He's single until now. He does this on purpose. It's just like the movie star who, yeah, I'm going to be single in public. I'm always going to be single. Or the idols that are always single, because in China, Japan, they got this. As soon as the idol gets a girlfriend, like his popularity kind of wanes. So they always project themselves as single. So that's what he does. He's like, I'm single. I haven't found a black queen yet. And 15 years ago, he used to do that. Most of his donors are women, okay? Then you have some of the men donors, and these men donors are men that follow the herd. So wherever the women are herded at and the man wants some of that, they will go to that place. Okay, and usually that's what you call like simps. I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, I'll give you a example. Really quick example. So I used to teach a long time ago, and in China can be racist in some sense, like in terms of, this was one of the reasons why I had attended Umar Johnson's little hyena yell back in the day when he came to Shanghai. But Chinese can be quite kind of racist, discriminatory. All right, so it reflects in everything. Okay, so as a teacher, when I'm teaching students and I'm black, back in the days when I was a teacher, there was another guy that was opposite from me, and he was white. He was from England. He was white. I was black. I was American. My teaching, I taught what was supposed to be taught, like in the curriculum. You had the white teacher who was this. He was all over the place teaching. It didn't really matter what you were teaching back in those days. Not that it matters more now. And China has actually, in terms of racism, they fixed some of the problems, but it's still there. But it's better than before. Okay. So, the girls, when they're in class, they see the teacher as like this kind of like recreation or plaything or this recreation. So when they see me, I'm not aesthetically pleasing to them because black is not an aesthetically pleasing color, right? And so what happens is the girls will go to the other guy, which is across from me, because we're both teaching the same thing. So it started out as like 30 students to 30 students, I think. It was like 40. We both had like 30 or 40 students. We were teaching master's classes. So he had 30 students. I had like 35 or something like that. Week 2, I noticed that all the females were out of my class. I only had males. All the females were in the class that was directly, across from me. And I was like, well, that's kind of strange. But then I knew that, yes, because he's white. He wasn't like this super handsome guy. He was just a regular old, pretty much regular, this white guy from England, He had a bit of charm, but, that it wasn't, if he was in America, well, not Americans dig the English accent. But if he was in England, he's nobody really special. Okay? But in China, he was very special. All right? And I was very, very, very special, but too special. So the females were in his class the second week. And then what happened was that a lot of the males, because they are single and they're taking master's class and PhD classes, and I think they were PhD, not even master's, they were PhD students. And not that I'm a PhD student, I was teaching English, okay? So the PhD females would go over there because they all like googly-eyed at this guy. And because a lot of guys took the English course because a lot of these students, they meet their future husbands or their future wives at these places, at this kind of schools and stuff like that. So if all the females are not in my class, they in his class, then I noticed during the third and fourth week, many of the males went over there. And that was because the ruckus won and because the females were over there. So then you had the males just move over there. And at the end of the day, it was really heartbreaking. I ended up only having like 7 students or something who took the courses seriously. So they took the courses that I was teaching seriously. But it really broke my heart. So he had like 60, 70 students in there. I had 7. Okay? And I had much more experience teaching, like technically teaching. You can see that but he was playing these silly games and this kind of thing, and all you can hear when they left the class, like, oh, he's so handsome, oh, he's so handsome, oh, he's so handsome, and the guys are gonna follow that, so they're gonna follow the girls. The hunters are gonna go where the meat is. Right? So that's where they all went to, where the meat is. And of course I was heartbroken, but I understood the law of the land. That's just the way it is. And it's the same thing basically with Umar Johnson. Okay, back in the days, not now, but back in the days, the females, the black single females, they all think that Umar Johnson is subconsciously, they might not think that he's attainable, but subconsciously they think that, oh, he's attainable. He's not attainable, but he's so like manly. He's such a black masculine man. And then, back in the days, and then the males, because that's where all the females are going, because he never have men that vouch for him. You don't see any really males that vouch for Umar Johnson. Basically, all the donors and all that stuff, like a lot of donors, are female, right? And you're gonna see it like this guy who's a supporter, like this guy, he's a simp, okay? He just follows where the females go, and he thinks because he does this, the black woman is queen, and he'll say, you know, it's the talking points. So they have the talking points that's going to get him in the bed with a beautiful black woman. And so, look, I follow Umar. You know, I'm totally black. I love black females. I think a lot of black men do that with Umar because the black females, he was such a polarizing figure back in the days. Okay, I saw him live. He's very tall. This was 5-6 years ago, I think. So he's very tall. He wasn't like this before. He was like pretty handsome, and he's a towering, powerful figure. When he speaks, you can see it. Okay. And you should have seen the females, and most of the females at that time in Shanghai, they were from Africa. I pretty much know the female that hosted the event in Shanghai. She's not with Umar no more. She's like, he's totally fraud. I don't know her. Like, I know a person who knows her. Okay, something like that. I don't know her. Okay, let me be truthful. Okay, but what I was told, okay, is that she don't rock with him no more, and that's what happens. It keeps happening. Like, you got Tacky Tiffany. I'm pretty much think that she don't rock with him no more. Once the veneer is peeled off, you know who he really is. You know, but he can always get new people because you have these stupid organizations that keep like booking him. These little small to middle mom and pop joints that keep vindicating his skullduggery, right, and his malarkey, right? So
maybe 15-20 minutes is I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask me some questions. Any kind of question you may have for Dr. Umar. Yes, you can ask questions about the school.
Okay, he's very kind of articulate, but he has kinks in his armor. You can know that this is a veneer that he tries to put up, but there's cracks. So he'll say some grammar crazy stuff that, what the hell did you just say? Right? And you can listen to him when he's speaking now, like there's cracks, okay?
I have no problem with that. I just hope that they're intelligent questions, not questions you can answer yourself. So with that being said, go ahead and tap in, brothers and sisters.
And he's still using this like phone number where they call you in and you doing this old radio, like the radio call that's like 15, 20 years old. Right? This is 15, 20 years old. Today, what you can do is you have a YouTube channel or you have a StreamYard channel or you have some other live streaming thing where you're online and you got like 50 people that are tuning into you. And then if you want that person to call you, all you got to do is give them the link. Right? So you give them the link and they come in and they talk with you. And you can talk with them, and then you can discard them and then go to the next one. It's very easier than, oh, I'm going to give you my number. So call this number. This is ghetto shit. Sorry for my language. But this is stuff this is hood stuff. This is stuff from like the 1980s when you remember you had those party line dating networks, and party line, you want to talk and get down and freaky and you would call them and you got like 10 people calling, they're talking and all this other stuff. That's what this is. This is a party line junk stuff. This has been out since freaking 2010. YouTube has already put it out. All these places have put it out. If you want to talk with somebody, you give them the link. You got King Kong of Consciousness. You should be able to live stream or something like this and provide a link if you want people to talk with you. You had Google, whatever, the Google Hangouts before. You could do that. You had Zoom. You have Zoom today where you can make it even easier, where you could talk to 10 people at the same freaking time. Like, why don't you have this type of technology? Like, you want thousands of dollars from people a year. thousands and thousands of dollars. You want hundreds of thousands of dollars from your donors every year, but you don't have the technology. You don't have the wherewithal. If you don't know the technology, hire somebody that does. Why aren't you doing these things? And these are the questions that people ask or have that you really don't understand. When people bring this up to you, you call them a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not hating on you, Umar. I got everything I need. I got a great job. I got a great wife. My kids have the greatest education. They go to private school. So it's like I'm not hating on you. I'm just seeing something, I'm looking for entertainment. So I go on YouTube, I look for entertainment. I look for some funny stuff. And then you come up and I'm like, okay, let me look at this guy named Umar Johnson. And I'm like, yo, this guy is a clown. He makes me laugh. So I'm going to continue to listen because he makes me laugh. This is things that you don't do. These are cautionary tales. These are things I show my children, my daughter, and I say, this is what you don't do. You want to start businesses? You want to do this? This is what you don't do. When you're online, you have to be pristine. When you show people your face, it has to be pristine. When you're asking for money, it has to be pristine. You have to be pristine. The picture has to be pristine. If you're asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, everything you do must be flawless. It must be pristine. This is common sense. And Umar doesn't have it. And so when I look at this, I just look at this a black hustler. He's just a hustler on the block. You know what I mean? And he didn't do it right. He didn't do it like Dolomite did. Look at Dolomite's story. Like, when he did things, he did things. Like, he knew how to present you with a picture. But these days and times are not Dolomite-esque anymore. You can't do things like that anymore. You can't go in a room and get like 10 people and start hyena yelping and then think you're going to get a whole bunch of donors. Stuff don't run like that anymore. That was back in the days of his days. Okay? Can't do that anymore. You got to go to professional venues. You got to hire professional people. You got to, behind every Chris Rock is a excellent publicist. So if you want to be the most requested person in the room, you have to pay for the most requested publicist. Right? Hold on. Okay, we're back. We're almost on an hour on this. I'm trying to make this an hour or so, but let's just listen. Let's just see what happens.
Okay, we got Chef Kobe coming up. Chef Kobe coming up. Where the chef at? I can't see you, brother. If I can't see you, I can't talk to you. I need a face.
Yep, 1 second, brother. My bad.
I see you, black man. How we doing, chef?
I'm good. How are you, Dr. Umar?
Okay, where you at in the world? Where you at in the world?
I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri. All right.
Yes,
what's on your mind today, brother? Any question you got?
Well, I recently just joined the Loyal Donors Club, and
I appreciate
I'm
that,
sad.
brother.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sad to hear the lack of support, honestly, that you've had with the whole entire ordeal. The thing that's really been, like, I became a big supporter of you over the past, like, 6-8 months. Like,
appreciate that.
I think the things that you speak are really in tune with what I believe in. And
so notice how he says the things that Umar speaks. But a lot of these people, okay, I'm telling you, close to 100% of these people that give him money for these things, right? They will say, you speak very well, Umar Johnson. You are a very good speaker. You speak, the things that you say are so great. But they would never say the things that you do are so great. It will always be the things that you say. You say this, you say that. But what have you done? And go and ask this guy, what have you done? And he will say, oh, he's building a school. And then what you must say in return, people, is, what school? This thing has been going on for 10 years already. What school? There is no school. What has he done in between while making this school? What has he done? Okay, so if some people say, let's look at logic. If A equals B, then it's C. If A doesn't equal B, then it's whatever, right? The school has not been built in between the time he asked for money, between the first time that he asked for money and now. Since 2014. He said 2014. That's what he said. Okay, there's other people that say back in 2009. Okay, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say 2014. So between 2014 and now, or even between 2000 and, since he's been active on YouTube, between 2007 and now, can you give me documented evidence of what Umar Johnson has done for the black community? What has he done besides run his mouth? Because I can read a few books and then just splatter on at the mouth about the black man is in peril, the white man, the evil, like I always say, the evil white man. Right? I can say all these things. I can give you all the talking points. But what have I done? Documented evidence of what I have done for black people. What have I done on an individual, on an organizational level, on a community level? The community level is important. Is more important than the individual level, because the individual level is like, oh, he's helped me. He gave a few advice to my child with ADD, SD, and all that stuff, right? I could go to a bum on the street and give him $50, and then that's individual level. I'm like, yeah, I helped the bum, and look at the bum is going to say something. Oh, yeah, stop smoking, stop drinking, gave me $50 one day. Okay. On an individual level, that's not really doing so much. Based on what you purport you are, which is like a nationalist or a hotep or whatever the hell you say you are, right? So if you're on this type of level, right, basically you're supposed to be acting on a community level, right, where you helping masses of people. Okay, so if you're helping masses of people, there should be documented evidence and masses of people saying, yo, this guy helped me. And there should be a principal of a school saying, this guy is awesome. He's doing this and that and this and that. And this. He has done this, A, B, C, D, E, F. This is what the things that he's done. You never hear that from Umar followers. The only thing you hear from Umar followers is from simps like this that say, what you said is what you said. Any mother brother can say something. Anybody can say. I can take Umar's talking points and then echo them, and grow my channel to 20K subscribers. I can do that. Anybody can do that if they really want to do that. Get a calendar of Black History Month things and say, it's the evil white man. Because if you do that, you'll get like 100,000 subscribers. Because the white man is evil, you know. The black man is the perpetual victim of every fucking thing on the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So if you repeat that mantra, people believe it. Because they perpetuated it into you. They oppressed it. They put that shit in your mind. Right? That you are a perpetual victim, that you can do nothing with your life. Vote for us, and this is how your life will turn out. We will make your life better. Right? He's basically the same kind of person telling you this, but he says, don't vote for that party, vote for me. Vote for Umar, give me your money. Because he don't like the whatever party anyway, right? So these are the kind of people that he get, is just people who are online, they're hearing, because what Umar says that comes out of his mouth, he's very articulate in some sense of the word. He's very articulate. He articulates his words for the most part very well, but there are still cracks and stuff. But unintelligent people, they don't notice the cracks. Okay, they're casual listeners, right? People who use their mind and deconstruct everything he says, they know it's a bunch of bullshit. That's right, little one, bullshit. It's a little kid walked by. He's like, bullshit. So what he says is just talking points and bull nonsense. This crap that you feed your dog food. And so you have the women that believe in Umar Johnson, and then you have the people like him who the hotep, and they got the beanies and everything, and they're like, yeah, what you said is so great, it resonates. And it's like, but I bet you in this whole thing, you cannot state one thing that he's done. Give me one thing that he's done besides run his mouth at a bunch of places and organizations. You can do that. Martin Luther King did things. That's why he was assassinated. Malcolm X did things. He was requested by many organizations to sit down and debate with people that didn't agree with him. He just wasn't given a script and say, look, you run this script. And this is what you say. This is what you do. Frederick Douglass, like, he did things. Now, I'm married with a Chinese woman. Like, it's funny that, like, Umar Johnson, he holds Frederick Douglass to this high standard. And Frederick Douglass was married to a white woman. And Umar Johnson doesn't condone interracial marriage. And then right from there, you can say, this is hypocritical, what he's saying. You holding someone up which you don't agree with their core principle. And Frederick Douglass's core principle must have been, I agree with interracial intersectionality. I agree with this. I agree that whites and blacks need to work together in some sense. I cannot discount all of white people because I'm married to one. And my children are going to be scarred, or, I don't want to say it, but marked with that interracial intersectionality. And so this is the guy that he puts up and he hails as the Messiah. And I'm like, this goes against all of your core beliefs. It doesn't make sense. But you have people that they will give a pass because it's, you have people that have confirmation bias. So it could be glaringly obvious that it goes against something, and they would just be like, oh, just forget it. Doesn't work. It doesn't work with me, no, it doesn't work. No, this is not what Umar said. Yeah. Until later on, then they're not sticking with Umar because they find kinks in his armor. And this guy, he's gonna be a loyal donor, a loyal donor for like 4 months, and then he's gonna find kinks, and that's what always happens. That's why this guy always is asking for money, because people like him. This guy on the bottom, they're going to find kinks later on, like 4 months or 6 months. It could be like 6 months later. And they'd be like, freak, I wasted freaking $50 a month on this clown. $300 a month. I could have did something with that. I could have had my own seminar on what I need to do with my own life. I could have paid the rent or something. I could have paid my car note, but I wasted it on this clown. They won't tell you, but they just disappear into the ether. That's what happens at the end of the day. They disappear into the ether, and he uses these radio shows to get more and more and more kind of people. But like I said, it's diminishing returns. He's gone from the Breakfast Club, True Colors, or whatever they call it. What do they call it? Different Colors with Tariq Nasheed. I don't listen to none of these Hotep bums, but you got him, Tariq Nasheed, Hidden Colors, and the Breakfast Club, where you're getting millions of people watching, and diminishing returns. Now you got Lord Jamal and you got Fox Soul. It's like, maybe if you're lucky, you can get 500,000. I don't think you're gonna get 500,000. You get with that, you're gonna get 30,000. Before I said 500,000 with Lord Jamal, but I don't think you're gonna get that. He'll probably get 100,000, 200,000. And this is hoping you get more. But with that Lord Jamal thing, he messed up, because that's very negative on his outlook because of the way he acted. Right? So, but you get these people that keep on putting him on the radio because he's free. Of course, he should not be charging money, because what he's spitting is bullshit. Okay? What he says is bullshit. But let's listen more.
I think whenever you go on these podcasts and stuff, and you're just walking 1 million, 2 million views, and it's sad to see the lack of support from these people that bring you onto their shows, and it seems like they're exploiting you to gain traction in their show, yet they're not reciprocating the energy for your school.
What do you mean? Let's fact check like we do with Biden and Trump. With the Breakfast Club, they didn't ask him any hard questions. He did not have to defend his position. If you're asking for money from people and you don't have an office and you don't have these simple things that I've stated an hour ago, what makes you think that Lord Jamal is going to put on kid gloves or treat him with the respect that he would treat somebody like if he got Bill Gates on, or if he got Denzel Washington on, or if he got somebody that has done something with their life that is proven? They have a proven record. Umar Johnson does not have a proven record. All he has is a bunch of talk on certain issues. And he does the talking points, and he's very good at doing the talking points. That's it. He has nothing else. He said he's a psychologist. We cannot prove it. He says it. He's a psychologist, but we cannot prove it. We can prove that Cornel West is a psychologist. He has people. Because if he's saying he's the most, let's go back to logic now. Let's back up. Back it up, okay? Let's talk about logic, okay? He says he's the most requested scholar ever in this age. Let's talk about somebody who has done things which a person who I don't agree with on many things, okay? Cornel West is a scholar. He's taught at Harvard. We can find it. If you look up Cornel West, you can see that what he has done, his dissertation, his thesis, his talking points on big time news organizations. We can see that Cornel West has paid his dues. Even if you don't agree with him, you cannot dispute the fact that he is a scholar, that he has a PhD, that he has been in the highest institutions in the world teaching people. He's of the high pedigree, okay? And so when you have a guy like Umar Johnson saying, I'm the most requested black scholar, you're like, what the freak are you talking about? You don't know Cornel West? I'm trying to figure out, remember other scholars. I'm sure there are black scholars. They're like, they're not here right now. Okay, it's like gone. My brain is like halfway gone, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Let me give you another example. I could find a Google. I'll just Google some. Okay, here goes one. You may not agree with her. Okay, you don't have to agree with the rhetoric. Okay, what you have to agree with is her credentials. So here's a black conservative. Okay, she states what I was educated, where I was educated. I'm trying to find her name. Hold on. I don't even know this woman's name. I think her name is Carol Swain. Okay, so Carol Swain is this. I just thought of when I had time to think. Okay, so Carol Swain, if you look her up, okay, do your due diligence. Look her up. Carol Swain is an American academic who is a professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University. You can find. Okay, so she's a black scholar. She's a black scholar. Okay, you can find her information. So I gave you people from two opposing sides. I gave you Cornel West. He's from the Democratic side or from the more liberal side, and I gave you someone from the more conservative side. So I gave you two people who are very popular right now in the mainstream, who have behind their name, they have credentials, they have receipts, if you want to say receipts that you can check on what they are. Okay, so she can say yes, she's a doctor. I don't know if she's a professor of political science and law at a conservative. She is the author and editor of several books or scholarly work. Scholar, okay, so scholarly work has been cited by two associate justices of the Supreme Court. Probably this guy called Justice Thomas, Clarence Thomas. Okay, so if you put Dr. Umar Johnson, I don't know, Dr. Umar Johnson, what you get is film actor, which I don't even know what that means. If you put Cornel West, American philosopher, okay, book by Cornel West, okay, if you put Carol Swain, American academic, if you put Umar Johnson, what do you get? A film actor. You get nothing. You get Breakfast Club. You get YouTube. You get nothing really of value. Okay, this is written by him. So Dr. Umar Johnson is a doctor of clinical psychology and certified school psychologist. That sounds just like him. I'm a doctor of clinical psychology and certified school psychologist. That's what he says all the time. Who specializes in working with the parents of African American children. Where is his education? Right. So, what way is there to get his message out? A perpendicular, basically vertical Instagram phone. That's how he gets his message out. This is why we're supposed to give him money. Right? So this is why we're supposed to give Umar Johnson money, because he says who he says he is, and we're supposed to believe him. Right? Look what this guy says.
So if someone says, hey, can you come on my point?
You onto their shows, and it seems like they're exploiting you to gain traction in their show, yet they're not reciprocating the energy for your school and for everything else you're doing.
Brother, you are bringing up a major point. Let me say this to you. I always assumed that when people invited me on their radio shows, I always assumed all these years that they were supporters or donors.
Okay, so he assumes. See, this is what narcissism kicks in, because he assumes that a person who doesn't have a job, so he doesn't have a job, because there's no organization that is endorsing him. Probably with Martin Luther King, you probably had the NAACP endorsing him. You had many of these groups endorsing him. With Malcolm X, you had the Nation of Islam endorsing him. They were an organization. So basically, he had a job. They were sending him out to basically debate and speak, and he had a paying job. This was a paying job. With Martin Luther King, he had his church. Okay, this was a paying job. You could go to his church. You could see where he laid his head to rest. You could see, like, if there was filming and all this kind of internet stuff that we had today, you could see where he was, where he laid his head, where his organization was. With Umar, we don't know where he lives. We have no freaking idea where his physical residence is. He has no office. He has no mailing address besides a freaking P.O. box, right? And so with his narcissism, he assumes that just because he said it, we're supposed to agree. So because he said that he's starting a school and this school's legit, I'm supposed to give you money. Because he said it. Not because he has proven that this school's legit. Proven it. When I say proven, he has an office. He has a legit address. He has a board of directors. He's had teleconferences where we could see the board of directors or the people that are working with him. No, it's just his word that we're supposed to take, that I'm Umar Johnson, I'm the most requested. Barring the fact that I just showed you two, they are not even the most requested black scholars. I just showed you two random black scholars that are more requested than Umar Johnson, because they have a place to stay. They have education for Vanderbilt University and Yale University, and he has education from the school orthopedics or whatever that I've never heard of. But we're supposed to believe what he says and give him money per month because he said it. Not because other people are saying it. Not because other scholars are saying it. Other scholars, their mum on Umar Johnson. No scholar are saying, listen, I support and I endorse this guy. Oh, unless you want to say the battle rapper from last week that says, why you ain't supporting the Umar Johnson school? If that's a scholar, I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying, as a black intellectual, I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to need more than some battle rapper, okay, to tell me that I need to donate to your school, okay? So he's assuming all of these things. And we all know that to assume makes an ass out of you and me. So he goes on these places assuming that they are supporters. If these organizations are supporters, or these websites or whatever, Black Soul and these, is Black Soul a loyal donator? That's what I want to ask. Okay? Because supporter means you're donating. That's what he means. That's what he says, right? You're begging to get on Breakfast Club every 6 months. Is Breakfast Club or the organization that finances Breakfast Club or any of the people in Breakfast Club, are they giving donations? Because as a narcissist, I would assume that you would tell me if Charlemagne was giving you donations, which means he's not, because you haven't told me, because I know you haven't told me, because he's not, because you are a narcissist, because narcissists would tell me that Charlemagne is giving you donations. So I know for a fact that he's not giving you donations. Neither is Angela Yee, Because what did you do to Angela Yee, sorry. You badmouth her behind closed doors. She doesn't even want to appear when you're on the Breakfast Club because you're like, interracial marriages suck. They're horrible, right? But you support Frederick Douglass, who is married to a white woman. He's okay, though. But Angela Yee is not okay. So either this is you are anti-feminist, I guess, or you're racist, or you just don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just talking about what's the big topic of the day, and you just run your mouth, and that's it. And then many people understand that's who you are. You just run your mouth. You have no philosophy, and therefore they choose not to donate. Only stupid people will follow you. Only dummies will follow you. Only people who have no direction will follow you. Only bums will follow you, not legitimate organizations. As you can see, none of them follow you. No, there's not one celebrity that follows you. If you are the most requested, why are you not being followed? They have the guy, Dr. Siebes, who's the guy that mixes soaps and all this other stuff. You could kind of call him a doctor or intellectual. As far as I see it, a lot of people, celebrities, are donating to him to help him start his organization, but nobody has donated to you. None of these celebrities. You had the Usher podcast or whatever that was going on. I'm very sure, I bet my life, that Usher has not donated to you. They don't believe in your cause, I think. They just want to put you on because perhaps you are a clown. And they want to see you make a fool of yourself, which you do on a regular basis. That's what I think. Anyway, this is my logic, and I've spent more than an hour deconstructing this guy. This is part 2. Part 3 is coming very soon. Part 3 is coming very soon. You can do all of these things without accusing him of being a fraud. Because that's his excuse. You're a hater because you keep saying I'm a fraud. You're a hater. Where's your proof? I'm breaking it down for you one by one. This is part 2. There will be part 3 and 4 maybe. Very easy stuff to find. Just use your common sense and logic. I'm Dana Scully. I mean, stop smoking. Stop drinking. I'm out. Check out the album, A Quick 16 Part 2. This is one of the songs on there. If you like it, check the link. Stop smoking. I'm out. Peace.
If I could place into your hands the moon and all the stars, I'd give to you the universe, Andromeda to Mars. If I could make the world love, obliterate the hate. If I could make sure you and I would never separate. If I could wash away the stain of sorrow from your door, I'd put you first and give you all the love your heart can hold. I close my heart in outstretched palms, but I can't keep forgiving how carelessly you treat this kid. I guess I'll just stop giving. I sacrifice to help someone. Invulnerable, they left me like parasites. They sucked me dry. I had to give up helping. I let someone into my heart, believing that he loved me. He left my insides torn and blue. In tears I gave up loving. I looked toward the tunnel's end. The light seems to be dimming. The web of black holes comforting. Maybe I'll give up living to set us free from here. If I could make us fly, if I could erase every tear you ever had to cry, if I could give you answers to each and every why, and take away the times you love but got back only lies. If I could just erase the pain your heart has ever felt, and make the whole world love you the way I love you myself.
Yo, I can't stand women. I hate being with them. Love Love is just another word for being in a prison. Shit in one hand and wish in the other. How many of those times did I envision my mother? You ain't erasing nothing. Others blame me for the situation I've been given. Didn't walk into insanity. Bitch, I was driven. You wonder why I'm bitter? You wanna pull that trigger? Shut the fuck up, I ain't asked for your permission. Just so you could give me the stars. We could play Venus and Mars. Juxtaposition in the act of being a god. You wanna adjust the position? You got the key in the dodge. Ask you to get out. I make down, now you key in the dodge. I brace for collision. Watch they blame the victim. Yo, I'm through with women. Damn, I love pussy though. Back to the beginning.
From here, if I can make us
Flag.
if I can erase every tear you ever had to cry, if I can give you answers to each and every why, and take away the times you love but got back only lies, if I could just erase the